everybody was kind of riding the wave of putting 30 hashtags down, try to use the most popular ones. And I'm not gonna lie, I did that initially and I learned my lesson and I started to wisen up, study the market a little bit, and you start to realize it's not always about putting up as many hashtags as you can. Relevancy is very key. If I'm doing Instagram strategy, it makes no sense for me to add a hashtag that said hashtag cats and dogs. It doesn't make any sense at all. We have to reach a certain audience with our hashtags, not just any audience. Everybody wants to know all about hashtags. Do they still work? Are they even necessary? Let's get into it. What are one or two strategies that you use for hashtags that you think everyone should practice or use?
Yeah, so I think the most important word that I can say when it comes to hashtags is relevancy. And so that's a very, it seems like a simple term, but what it means is a deeper thing. So understanding like relevance to not just the piece of content itself, but the kind of people that would want to see it, like all of those things. It should be highly relevant to the specific piece of content. I think a lot of people fall victim to the trap of saying, oh, well, it's loosely related. That should not be the case. It should be very deeply related to the specific piece of content. And that's really, really important because relevancy is going to dictate performance or not. And then I think also the other strategy I would say is patience would be another word that I would use. A lot of people will use a hashtag once or twice and then be, oh, it doesn't work for me. That's not the case. You need to zoom out and give it enough actual opportunity to see. Because a lot of times Instagram's testing a ton of different things too. So if you are actually being very highly relevant and accurate with the tags that you're selecting, it may be a matter of time. Maybe the disconnect is just simply you haven't posted that right piece of content yet. But when it happens and you perform well there, Instagram remembers these things. So it may take the 10th or 12th or maybe even the 20th post for some people. But it is still possible to go after competitive tags, and actually we'll dive deeper into it in this live, but it's actually never been better to go after competitive tags than right now.
I think that's a really great point. It's something that honestly, full transparency, I didn't start doing that in the beginning. I used to everybody was kind of riding the wave of putting 30 hashtags down, try to use the most popular ones. And I'm not gonna lie, I did that initially and I learned my lesson. I kind of got burnt doing that a few years ago, and I started to wisen up, study the market a little bit, study those around you, and you start to realize it's not always about putting up as many hashtags as you can. Relevancy is very key because let's just face it. If I'm doing Instagram strategy, it makes no sense for me to add a hashtag that said hashtag cats and dogs. It doesn't make any sense at all, and we have to kind of come above that and realize that we have to reach a certain audience with our hashtags, not just any audience. Who you're reaching, your target audience and demographics. One of the hashtag strategies that I use myself, this was a very simple one. It's been clear, it's been stated numerous times, and I think we have to say this because I still get questioned about it. Where do you put hashtags? There's been like a big civil war between putting it in the captions or in the comments. Now, I want to make sure everybody is quite aware. This has been answered, not just by others in the industry like us, but by Instagram themselves. They stated, put hashtags in the captions, and it makes a lot of sense. Put hashtags in the captions, right? Right, Ben? I think it goes without saying nowadays.
Yeah, well, especially if Instagram's telling you that, then it's one of those things where why not? I think a lot of people didn't because they didn't like the look of it, but I think we've gotten past that where we don't care as much. I hope. Yeah. I never really cared that much, but I understood why they really wanted the aesthetic. But to be fair, I've also had posts that did really well when I did put it in the comments, but I think a good rule of thumb is exactly what you said. Don't sweat it, just put it in the caption. If Instagram's telling you to do that, then make less problems for yourself and just do that.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're telling you to do it, I think there's probably more reasons behind it that they don't want to fully tell all the technical secrets and details, but that's no longer an issue. But I've done it myself. I did a 3-month experiment.
Yeah, I remember that.
Tags. And I learned a lot. And one of the first things I learned was they work significantly better in the captions than in comments. Now, there's one other piece of strategy or a particular tool that I want to definitely reference. It has completely changed the way that I work with hashtags because it has made things easier. And probably even the best thing I love about it is the fact that I get details. I get numbers. That tool is Flick. If you guys are aware of Flick, or if you're not, take some notes right now because walking out of this IG Live or turning it off after this IG Live and looking into it, I'm telling you, it's going to change the way that you use hashtags. To go back to the hashtag question that I have for Ben, simple as what is Flick and how can it benefit us as content creators?
Yeah, so Flick is a tool that's near and dear to my heart, and because I've been working with them, I was one of their first ever partners, and then we've now since gone where I've joined the team and everything. So I'm a huge believer in the product firsthand, and I use it for myself and for clients. But what it is essentially what it was first was it's now built a far more robust group of tools. But their hashtag tool in particular is the most sophisticated and easy to use hashtag research tool for you to quickly find the right hashtags for every piece of content that you would want to post. And what makes it even better than that is not only do you find the right hashtags, but much like Eston said, you actually get feedback on how they perform, which is that was the biggest issue with hashtags in the past, where people would post it, and even if they got a ton of impressions, they're like, well, which one did I get
Yeah.
first, right? Like they're like, well, where did I actually rank? How did I perform? This will actually give you all of that feedback. And so much like I said earlier about giving it a big enough sample size, Flick will track all the performance of all of your hashtags across the board. So it'll actually tell you, these are your winners, these are your losers, focus more here. And it allows you to really shape the strategy and really see the kind of tags that are working and the kind of content that works within those hashtags. So it's a tool that I think is always worth trying. And I'm sure if you try it, you're going to keep using it because it makes life so much easier.
1000% everything you said. And there's so much more behind Flick, not just the hashtag strategy aspect of it, but, you know, they just announced that you can schedule reels with Flick. That is a whole nother ball. That's a changing the game on a whole nother level. And there's so many other things that you can do with Flick, including scheduling on Instagram and more. So I advise you guys to check into it. But we're talking about the hashtag aspect of Flick. And
Yep.
like I kind of hinted at, with the numbers alone, I am a numbers guy. I like to see details. Numbers, unfortunately or fortunately, are going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what's working. And as you kind of stated, with hashtags, with Instagram Insight, it's always been a guessing game. If you put up 10 hashtags and that piece of content performs really well, there's no way of you knowing which hashtag actually performed well. So you end up just reposting all 10 hashtags,
Yeah.
which is a waste of time. And with Flick, you now know exactly which hashtag performed. You know where it ranked. You know how many times you've used it and how many times it's performed and ranked for you. There's so many nitty-gritty details that Flick provides for you that Instagram is seriously lacking. I've been complaining about Instagram Insights in regards to Reels forever. Flick has been so monumentally important in regards to just looking at the data and making decisions based on that. Just before this IG Live, I planned out my next 2 weeks of content, and I did the hashtag strategy. And what normally would take me about an hour or two of research, looking for hashtags, it took me probably 15 minutes to figure out which hashtag. And this is like 8 or 9 posts that I'm talking about for different hashtags. There's so many great features that Flick has that you guys should be considering if you want to actually take your hashtag game to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. And then one thing that I love even more about Flick in particular is because they're constantly collecting all this feedback and data, not only from your account, but their other users and then Instagram at large. So once you do things the right way, and I actually have a video coming out on Flick's YouTube channel where I walk through like the most surefire way to set up your collections, which is basically a word for your groupings of tags for easy plug and play use later. But if you set that up the right way once, Flick will then constantly be collecting feedback and then give you suggestions that is purely based on the parameters that you put the groupings together with. So that makes you can get super specific recommendations that are such an alignment. So say if you come across a tag that did really well for you and you know, okay, like this is my sweet spot of size and relevancy, they'll start recommending similar tags to that. So it makes the whole process so much easier as well.
Like I said, guys, if you're looking for insight, skip Instagram's insight in regards to Reels, particularly hashtags. And just in general, Flick gives you so much more as a tool, a third-party tool that Instagram has approved. Let me make sure I get that correct.
Yeah,
they have approved it. There are some third-party apps that Instagram has not approved that might get your account shut down if you use them or other. Flick is approved. It is certified, and it works. Trust me, I've been using it for a few weeks now. And I got to also state, the staff behind the team, the support has been incredible. From the information I get in my emails to the one-on-one conversations that I've had with individuals, it's been really great. So I strongly suggest you guys check out Flick. I have links on my link in bio to Flick. If you want to go and check it out, go ahead and check that as well. Or simply DM me after this IG Live if you want a little bit of information, as well as DM Ben as well. Ben has a lot of information in regards to this great hashtag tool. I want to say a major thank you to Ben for joining me today on this IG Live, despite all of the audio technical difficulties we've had. Unfortunately, Instagram was hating. They didn't want us to share all of these good secrets, Ben. I don't know why Instagram hates like that sometimes.
If you know, you know, right? They're looking to keep the secrets in the vault. We ain't gonna let them out.
Well, the secrets are out. Learning about all of these cool tools like Flick. If you guys want more information on that tool, please go ahead and DM either one of us. And with that being said, thank you, Ben, for being such an amazing guest/host. Thank you so much for working with me in regards to the situation. But it's always a pleasure having you on the IG Live and having these great conversations. It's always good.
If you learned anything new from this video, please take a moment and hit that like button. And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button and ring that notification bell so that you can be reminded of the next YouTube video. Now that you're becoming a hashtag master, please take a moment to check out the video on the screen that'll teach you about some of the hashtag mistakes that you might be making. Hope to see you in the next video.